Molang Tin Jun. Hello everyone, this is Ji Sifu from Lineage Dragon's YouTube channel. Today is another official talk show that I'm going to post on this channel instead of the Chi in Nature channel. So hope all you guys who like my talk show are here and well enjoy another lengthy talk show requested by our fans and believers. So today I'm going to talk about a topic about the cycle of life and about the ghost and after-death world, after-death journey, how it's like dying and stuff like that, and maybe some stuff that you should be aware before you're actually dead. So yeah, how do we start? Well, let's start. The first thing you will need to know is how our body function. Okay, there is three things that we need to understand, like three things that we need to understand, and it's composed of. Okay, that's how your body functions. The first thing is the Yun Sun, which is your spiritual planetary body, and that is actually where your pre-heaven resources come from. This is the place or the your own personal little spiritual planet, which has all the required ingredient and energy for you to feel alive and want to live and go on and have like some kind of direction in life. So this Yun Sun sets the main focus, the main direction of where you want to go. When you wake up, if your Yun Sun is not connecting very well, when you wake up, you feel very like slack off mode, don't want to do anything, kind of lost. You know, sometimes people feel gray and very blurry, and you can't really see the future. That's when the Yun Sun and you is not really connected well. So when your Yun Sun it's doing well, it's putting things into you nicely, you'll be able to have a nice focus, or at least, you know, when you wake up you feel more alive. Okay, so basically that's the Yun Sun. Now the second thing is the soul, the Ling One. The soul is not like one thing. Okay, most of the time when we look at movies and stuff, when you see the soul, it's usually like one transparent little gas-like being. Okay, floats out like the ghost that usually people think that's how it looks, right? It's like a little gas form being that floats around. Well, actually that's not how it looks. Okay, the soul is a bunch of energies, and these energies are inside you. Okay, and also like this energy runs between you and the Yun Sun all the time. Okay, so the Yun Sun, your body, your physical body, it's like a two station, A and B point. The soul energy beams from here to here, here to here, and in between that transaction, the soul always have to convert these pre-heaven energy to the post-heaven energy, and there goes the energy that you have when you wake up. Molang Tin Jun. Hello everyone, this is Ji Sifu from Lineage Dragon's YouTube channel. Today it's going to be a talk show about the life after death and how the cycle of life actually works in Taoism and such. So, well, basically not only for Taoism, it's for everyone. Okay, so a lot of people think that when you're dead, it's just like a switch and you go black out. I have a friend who told me his father just went black out, and somehow the father came back, and he didn't die yet, but he said that coming back from death, it's just like a blackout, and then after a while the father died. Okay, so the problem is this is not a real death when you just see the blackout point, because you're not even transitioned to the stage of really dead yet. So of course it's still a blackout stage, because that is a transaction stage. It's not like the real stage where you're like really dead, and that's why, oh, people come back. Okay, when you're dead, you cannot come back. It's just like when you're born, right? You're born in this world, you cannot go back to where you're from before, right? So when you're really born, you're not supposed to be able to go back and then tell people or things back there, hey, that's how the world looks like. No, it doesn't work like that, okay? It's like you jump into the black hole and you get destroyed. Well, yeah, it portal you over to the other side, but you cannot come back, okay? That's how nature works. So if you heard anyone talking about their near-death experience and then they come back and tell you all kinds of things, those are not reliable, because you're not really dead yet, and you could be in a little like a pause stage, okay, where you're seeing all kinds of illusions and things like that. So it's a very gray zone between like real death and these not really like, or partial death, you can say, okay? They just die for a while. It's like a pause and then they come back, okay? So how does the real death look like, and how is that world like when you're there? Well, when you're really dead, okay, you don't have eyes, you don't have ears and mouth, but I can tell you that you can see and hear very nicely. Okay, even your vision is bad right now and you need glasses, when you're dead, your visions can become very, very clear, depending on where your soul is. So, yeah, how do you see? You don't have the eyes, you don't have the ears, how do you hear? Well, recall from your most vivid dream experience. You can see a lot of things in the dream, like when you're dreaming and everything so like looks so real, very realistic, very scary, you know, kind of very, very intense kind of dream. Wow, it looks like as if you're just there, and it's just so realistic. Well, that's how it looks, okay? When you're dead, things can be as real as it gets, okay? And, well, you have, when you're dead, you're not dreaming, so you have your full senses and very, like, aware of things around you. It's not a blurry kind of stage. It's like you're really there in another world that is like the dream world. Now, in this world, okay, in this world, everything are physical, and by means of physical, they're solid. Okay, so light bounces off our surface, and you're visible to the people around you because you bounces off light and you show the color. In the other world, it's basically the opposite. You are a light exposing kind of being. Okay, your property is like that. While here we're physical and hard, right there you're non-physical and you're glowing kind of thing. You can say it's like a light being, but it's not really a light being. It's just that you glow, okay? Because you're an energy form, and this energy glows by itself, okay? So you can see if the ghost is weak, you can see their color and their brightness of how their color shows up decreases. So a very deadly ghost, a very weak ghost, will look very faint in color. And while a very powerful spirit or ghost will look very vivid and even like laser kind of color. When you're facing like very bad spiritual attack, some very strong spirits are tagging after you and doing things to harm you. You might encounter spirits that look like a very neon green or neon blue color kind of being in front of you, and it looks very scary because it's like a very laser kind of color. You know, when you have laser beam, okay, very, very sharp color, that kind of color. And there is like tone, okay? It's kind of like when you put a black and white photo, but it's not black and white, it's black and green, black and blue, like that. It's not that kind of stuff, okay? It looks pretty scary. And so yeah, these colors will show up. Now, why are there colors? Well, there are colors because there are different kinds of energies there. And so the color will reflect on the status of that spirit directly. While here we have a physical shell, which is the body. And our body always have this pinkish color, or if you're brown, black, whatever, you have your color, skin color. It covers the color that is generated from your emotion and feelings. When you are a ghost, like a spiritual being, your colors are all generated from the emotion. So you will see ghosts or other kind of spirits or other kind of like spiritual being, that kind of stuff, okay? They will be like, oh, sometimes they're red, sometimes they're blue, sometimes they're pale white. It depends on their emotion, how they feel inside and such, and that kind of color will show up more or less and combo up to, you know, some kind of color. It depends on their status and like how they feel inside. That's how the color changes. So in this world, okay, the fun part is in this world, okay, we have the problem of lacking resources. So we need to go outside and search and make and buy all kinds of resources, and so we will have things in our hand, right? Okay, so what about the other world? It's exactly opposite. Just like we say the yin and yang, right? They're two-side worlds. So basically they're like totally extreme opposite. Okay, now the other side, you can have anything that you want. Okay, you can have anything that you want. Why do I say that? Like how? Well, you can make things like in a dream, a fantasy world. Bing, bing, like that. Okay, very magical. Just like how it looks in the movie. We already know how to like imitate that in the movie. Bing, shoes, a plane, like cartoon. But how does it happen? Like, wow, this is like crazy. Well, it costs you something else. Right here, we are in a physical world where we rely on the exterior element, right? We rely on things like outside of us, like money, like water, like air. Everything is outside of us. We are empty, right? We take things from the outside and put it inside ourselves. And then we can use it, make things, whatever, okay? Now, in the other world, it's extremely opposite, meaning that you are using things inside yourself to create things outside of you. Wow, that is like a totally new concept to you, right? So basically, it's like, it feels like cutting your flesh, then you can have shoes. Cut a piece of flesh, and now you can have your PC, your car, whatever it is, okay? So yeah, everything runs on this soul power. Okay, so it's like you are let's say you're a being that is formed by a light or like a glowing kind of gas, something like that, okay? Now, in order for you to have something, you have to pull out a portion of your energy. So you become a little bit weaker, right? And then you make this thing that you want. Well, you have your thing right here, right now, okay? You created it. Now, they don't need electricity because electricity is something we use here. It's external power, right? In that world, they all use internal power. Meaning, okay, you want to make the thing like this car, okay? Run like a car. Well, you can inject your own energy inside. So it runs on the fuel that comes out of yourself, okay? If you're the soul being, you have to use your own energy, your own, it's like cutting your flesh to run this thing. So it's kind of scary. You can have anything, you can make anything, but there goes the cost. You cannot find these money, the wealth, which is the energy, from other places around you, because there's only you there. Now, there are times when you can like, there are like higher level spirits, or you can say the evil ones, who like to capture these ghosts or the lower level spirit, the weaker one, and then Well, they capture them, and why do they need to capture these things? Well, because there goes my wealth, right? I want to make a mansion. Well, if I have to make it myself, then I have to use up a lot of energy, and after I'm done, like myself is almost half dead, right? Or maybe I'm dead already. So I don't want that to happen. So I will capture this and this and this and this, like 50 people, 50 weak spirits. Okay, I turn their energy into something, and well, there goes my mansion. I live in there, and everything is powered up by more and more and more captured spirits, right? Basically, it's so simple. Well, in this world, we always see the same kind of thing. People don't have enough money, they rob and they take, and well, that's what happened, right? People rob and conquer over land and things like that. Well, there goes the same thing in the spiritual world. So there are spiritual mafias, okay? Spiritual mafia, spiritual conqueror, you know, these kind of stuff. And yeah, so in general, we call these things in Chinese 邪神, so they're evil god, okay? Well, you can say they're evil spirit, but they're more powerful, and they're not just like dead people who got greedy. They are actually a higher level kind of being, which really screws things up, okay? Now, these evil spirits, they will also have a lot of franchise. You can say, okay, franchise, like a gang. Wow, in this world, a lot of people are actually channeling to these evil things. And you know what? These evil things are so powerful that they have no feelings, okay? Like pain, that kind of feeling. They don't feel pain. So these spirits will choose people in this world who love to be possessed and be channeled, like, you know, those mediumship. Well, you want this god? No problem, okay? These things come in and claim themselves to be your whatever god you want to call it, okay? You give it a name, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Superman, okay? Whatever it is, okay? You can be whatever. But these things just go into your body and possess over you. Now, you, the medium, will feel super extremely cool because you start acting like crazy, and you can take the blade and chop yourself. You'll see all the blood squirts out, and you don't even get scared. And basically, you wow, and you can do all kinds of crazy things. Poke pins over your face and whatever. Okay, all kinds of crazy stuff. And you don't feel pain. You feel like you're Superman. And well, there goes the first stage of being brainwashed to believe that these are the real gods. Now, all these occult and stuff will be pretty impressed by the performance by these evil spirits, or the evil mafias, okay? And, well, what happened next is they worship them. And then, so these statues and stuff, you know, all these things come out. And, well, there goes the evil mafias and stuff like that. When people are dead, and if their relatives or friends are believing or having a surface from these kind of masters or sorcerers who are connected to these things, you know, these mediums and stuff like that, well, then these evil mafias, evil gods can now capture these freshly dead souls. So if you're not lucky, or maybe I should say if you're very lucky to have a funeral service of some kind that involves these things, then when you're dead, well, basically you get captured over and you become a slave of these things. So being slave of the evil gods. And well, it can be a long-term slave. Sometimes it's like, wow, you can be there for over 10 years, okay, being a slave. That's what happened, right? They want you there and use you up and stuff like that. Well, yeah. So it's pretty scary. Now, when you're dead, you're not going to be instantly, oh, I can see things and then someone's going to grab me away and eat me up. No, it doesn't happen that fast, okay? Now, how does a normal death goes? Now, excluding these evil spirits and evil gods right now, okay? When you're dead, First of all, you got to understand that your body is like a balloon, and the energy, the soul inside you, the energy, okay, the soul, which is the energy inside you, it's going to vent out because the balloon is broken, right? So it's like gas leaking out of a balloon, air leaking out. Now, in Chinese, we say there's the one, pa, okay? Now, one and pa is two different things. We say one, hei, pa, guang, okay? One is the soul. It's air, like energy, okay? And pa is guang, is light. So when you have enough energy, the energy glows, and basically that's the light. Now, light doesn't mean like these light, the shining light up here, not like that kind of light, okay? The light is actually a metaphor, or maybe you can say it's like a way how you categorize things. Light is, for example, now you see I'm very happy and my eyes is like wow, like that, and you know, you feel I'm very energetic, that kind of stuff. That's light, okay? That's light. If you see I'm like, and then hello, this is Chi Nature, and that's it. But I'm like that, right? So basically you get the idea. So light means the energy showing up and you can see it. It doesn't mean that my body is glowing green, glowing blue, glowing red, okay? But you can feel and see that as if I am like a light bulb glowing, and the energy is, you know, giving off, and you can feel that vibe is very strong, energetic, and happy. You know, that's the light, okay? That's the pa. So when one is very strong with the pa, the spirit, what they say, okay, you will see their body is strong, they're energetic, they're awake, and they can do a lot of things, okay, very healthy, that kind of stuff. When the energy inside is weaker, okay, the soul gets weaker, the one is weaker, the pa also dims down. Very simple, okay? So it's like you have lots of energy, then the light glows stronger. When the energy decreases, the light and like that, okay? Simple? Okay. So your energy inside, the soul inside, powers you up and allows you to do three things, okay? There are three kinds of energies inside you, which we call the Saam one, okay? The three soul. Okay, so what is the Saam one? Most people think that it's like three ball of energy around your body, but it's not, okay? You can imagine we're like talking about science, and then people talk about atoms, and there's like always the neutron, photon, electron, okay? It's like that, okay? So if we analyze like air in the air right here, okay? If we analyze that, and then you take the particle, every particle there's like 3 or 4 types of stuff inside, that kind of stuff, okay? So someone is basically categorizing the energy into 3 types, and all these things, like the energy inside your body, is actually all mixed up. So when you're alive, all these 3 types of soul energy, they mix and mix and mix and mix, and that's how it functions. But when you're dead, these energy will separate because your body is gone. There's nothing to operate them and mix them up, so they will separate. So I'll talk about the separation later. Right now, let's talk about the 3 types of energy first, okay? So the first type, we call the teen one, sky soul, if you translate that, okay, or celestial soul, okay. Now, this is actually the neutral type, okay, neutral. And when it's neutralized, meaning the yin and the yang is balanced, like a perfect balance, 50-50, then it will be at the state where it can move from one dimension to another dimension, okay, when it's in that state. So your teen one, the soul celestial or sky soul, whatever you want to call that, okay, that kind of energy is what connects you and the pre-heaven side of you. So when you're alive right now, okay, this energy, this teen one right now, at the local right now, is supposed to help you to make you right here, okay, your brain and other organs in this physical dimension to connect back to your pre-heaven energy body right here. that is like overlapping you. Okay, and this energy body, we call this the Fa Sun. Now, inside this body, the center is right here, where your energy heart is. Okay, the heart that feels, the heart that make you want to do something. That is the heart that we always talk about. Okay, so this is the heart energy, and basically this energy of the heart gives you, it's like a battery. Okay, it powers you up and allows you to keep going every day. Now, when you sleep, your heart connects with this teen one. Okay, there's a channel that connects from this and up to your Yun Sun. Now, the Yun Sun is called the spiritual planetary body. Watch my video on what is Yun Sun, okay, or type on the search bar Yun Sun, Y-U-E-N-S-U-N, okay, at Taoism at the back, and you will see my full lecture on that. So that is your spiritual planetary body, and that is where all your resources of life come from. Every night when we sleep, our heart right here get charged up from the Yun Sun above, and like that. And basically, when you're tired, you want to go to sleep. When you're sleeping, the Yun Sun charge your heart up again, and when you're awake, you feel energetic because you get a charge from this Yun Sun right here. Okay, battery, it's like that. So basically, this is the job of the teen one, is to connect from the post-heaven dimension to the pre-heaven dimension. Okay, you can also search up post and pre-heaven on YouTube and see my full lecture about that too. It has nothing to do about any heavens. Okay, it's basically about the different dimension. It's like the you here, and then the you in another dimension in the other side of the universe, you can say. Okay, so basically they're like, one is the you, physical you, one is the energy body of you, that kind of stuff. Okay, so the teen one is responsible for connecting from this you to that you, and then to this you. Okay, so basically it's connecting stuff. Okay, and then there are two more different types of energy. One is the Yum one, and one is the Yang one. They're not two blob of stuff, they're all mixed up. Okay, so what is the Yum and what is the Yang? Very simple. Yang will always output and provide, and output, give out, okay, that kind of job. Okay, so Yang always grow bigger. It always grow bigger. Okay, and it always provides more stuff. It's a plus sign. Okay, like the plus, positive. Now, the Yum one is the negative. Negative will always like decrease. It will break down things. It will start to use and burn up things. Okay? Now, let's say inside you, okay, if you are actually doing physical stuff, that will be the Yang one. Okay? Because you're outputting the internal energy, outputting to the outside. This is output, so it basically controls a lot of, not control, it powers up a lot of your physical action. Now, when you are actually doing thinking and mental job, you're always breaking down ideas, right? Always breaking down things, and ideas get finer and finer details, right? When it's inside. And also the inside is a digestive system. It keeps breaking down and reducing and then pushing things out, that kind of stuff. Okay, so this is the job of the Yum one. Basically, it powers up your body, allows you to think, to break down things into logic, and also the body inside to internally absorb, know how to absorb things from this world and things like that. So if you are learning stuff, that is absorbing, intaking, so that's more the job of the Yum one, the yin, the negative, right? So people think negative is always bad, but it's not. Negative is not bad. Negative is okay, because you need to absorb knowledge, absorb food, absorb beverage, water, sunlight. We absorb things, right? So that's why you need the negative soul. Okay, so we understand that we have these three types of stuff inside the big blob of mixed thing that is called your Ling One, which is the soul. Okay, so we understand that it's like our body is like a shell, okay, like a container, and inside there's a bunch of these energies. And when you're dead, the body actually dies off, so the light of your body like that, and you see yourself going gray as well. And then you get cold, meaning the energy is whoosh. So when the energy vents out of your body, okay, what happened when the energy vents out of your body? Well, basically energy will separate. Just like saying, okay, when you have a room right now, you are working inside the room, doing this and that. Well, energy mixes, air mixes, right? So the top and the bottom energy harmonize because you are the one stirring. You see, you're stirring around the room, and the energy will be like going from top to the bottom, bottom to the top, and mixes. So actually you'll feel that the room is pretty warm, and because the warm air from the top is going to stir down, and then the cold air that gets up, and basically the whole temperature of the room is very alike. But what happened when the room is very quiet and you leave it there for a while, no wind going in, what happened? Well, you see, the cold air will sink down and the hot air goes up. And basically in a very like a vacuum situation, you see the air separate, just like how water and oil, they mix, and like you can do that too, okay? It's the science stuff. Inside a cup, oil, water, half, and then take a chopstick or something, mix it up. You see the whole thing mixed up and turn into a little gel or fat looking thing, right? Now, this yellowish mixture is going to separate as you let it stand, and then it will become two layers of stuff. So the oil on top and the water underneath. That is the state of how your energy goes when you're dead. So your yang, the positive energy, will go up from your body, fly up. And then the yin, the negative energy, they go down, just like hot and cold air. They separate. And the neutral ones, what happen? Well, neutral one will go whoosh, and then transfer through the dimensions and basically go back to the pre-heaven side of you, which is your Yun Sun, okay? It goes back to your spiritual planetary body. It just snap and go. There's no distance. Even though the Yun Sun is very far away, it's not like, oh, I need to travel. It takes so many billion light years. No, it doesn't, okay? There's no distance in the pre-heaven dimension. Basically, here you go and here you are. It's like instantly from here to here. From here to here. No matter how far you are, you can instantly come from here to here. If you don't believe it, don't understand what I'm talking about, search into quantum physics. They actually talk about some kind of matter like that in science too. Well, basically, here it goes and here it goes. Here changes, here automatically changes, even they're very far away. That's very like another kind of science, okay? But it's good because science now have these kind of stuff that allows you to understand, wow, things like that actually exist. And we are all brought up to like, you know, the old school of science are mostly based on the physical stuff, okay? So we are brought up to believe that 36 plus 36 equals 72, and there's no exception, okay? So in order for this to go here, there must be time and then distance, you know, that kind of graph, okay? Because we analyze things all in the perspective of a physical science. But there are many things that go beyond the physical realm, and it's not the same, okay? It's not the same. It's like, okay, let's say the energy of thinking of someone. Well, I can think of someone inside my mind, boom, there goes the person's energy inside my body. I can feel the person right away. It doesn't take me time to travel. It's very fast. Okay, so basically that's how it goes. So in the pre-heaven dimension, your neutralized energy, your soul, go and go there. So which part of you are you going to like be with when you're dead? That's the question. Most people think you're going to go into blackout stage, but it's not, okay? After a little bit of blackout, you will be back to life, meaning like you can feel yourself again. And you can see and hear things just like in the dream world. Now, in that stage, your yang soul, the yang or the positive energies, all flies up, go upward. Okay? And what happened is because it's all the yang property, the positive property, it goes up and turn into energies and harmonize of this world. Basically, nature takes you and it's like a evaporation effect. Okay? It just like that. So it blends with this world and cycle. Okay? So when you're dead, something from you is good for this world. It takes it and absorbs it back. Now, what next? The next is the scary part, which is you. The you that actually can be felt. And that is the negative part of you. The negative soul. The soul, the young one, is the you. Because this thing, usually when you're alive, it's the power that controls how you feel, your senses, your thinking, all the consciousness of you is in the young part. So if you are dead, then the you right now, okay, the you will be mostly with this young side of you, the negative side of you. And this thing sinks down and down and down. This energy goes down to where? To under the ground level, under the ground that you stand on, under the ground outside the street, okay, under, and keep sinking down. Now, as this thing sinks down, for the first while, it is actually all blackout. So because you haven't reached the point where you should reach yet, and where usually these kind of soul stays. So you're still in a black situation at the first stage, and it feels like, oh, I blacked out, I went into a dream, slept like that, like a switch. Okay? Now, the scary part is, because as you go down, this is your negative energy, right? It keeps pulling down, and you feel that you're like asleep, that kind of vibe, okay? Like when you're sleeping, all black out. When it goes down, it will be pressurized by the energy under the ground, the negative energy of this world, of nature. It packs in and builds up the pressure. When you're at the point where the pressure is too much, okay? When it's too much, then it's like a volcano effect, because your energy goes down a lot, and it presses down, this energy pressed down. When it's pressed down enough, it bumps back up. Okay, so the heavier your soul is, meaning the more negative your soul is, the more tension and pressure you can build up when you sink down. Just like a spring-loaded effect right here, okay? Or when you're trying to jump into the water, it like that bounce back up, okay? So right here is like this. The heavier this negative soul is, okay, the more it can press down and it bumps back up. When it bumps back up, it will go back to this world, okay? The world where you human being live. And now your first conscious state of you start to happen. You will see things, but not this world, because you don't have eyes, and you don't have ears, you don't have a mouth, and you don't have a body. So all you can see in this world is the energy field of things. So everything looked like as if you went into a very bright white world with a lot of blurry, colorful lights around. Sometimes you have hot energy, cold energy, dark energy, sometimes some kind of whatever floating around, and it feels very scary because you're in a world that looks like some kind of like a fantasy screensaver on the computer, okay? Like all kinds of energy waving here, and it feels very lost. You have no direction, you don't know where you are, and everything just looks so blurry and stuff like that. You can hear sound just like in the dream, you will also hear sound and feel the sound. And everything feels like you're inside the deep ocean listening to people chatting up there. It looks so mumbly. Okay? Everything is unclear. Well, you don't know what you're doing. But at this moment, when you're back, this is what we call when the soul returns. It returns back to here. Now, the first thing is this soul will want to find a place to stick to, which is your, like if you're the dead person, okay? It wants to stick to your body. It wants to find the body. But the body's gone or dead, not possessable, right? You cannot go back into the dead body. So what happened? Well, next is it will stick to something that has this heart-to-heart connection with. So this soul will start to want to go and split and attach to things that it has some kind of relationship with. For example, relatives, houses, haters, lovers, kids, children, everyone that this person knows and remember the most, and things like that. And the energy, the soul, will just distribute all kinds of energy to these things, and it will try to go around there to get neutralized. This is like a natural energy reaction. It tries to get neutralized, but you're still in that very blurry state. Okay? Now, all these funerals and whatever goes on, and it doesn't matter. You are still in that blurry stage. Okay? You don't know what happened, and well, you get, sometimes you hear, it feels very scary. You don't know what happened. Okay? Now, all these negative energies passing on to things and people that you're attached to, or they are attached to you sometimes, okay? Then, what happened is they will get your negative energy, meaning that their positive energy on the surface will also reduce because their positive energy is neutralizing your negative energy that you pack in, right? So these people will suddenly feel more negative, like, oh, grumpy, gloomy, not happy, sad, feeling weird inside, kind of depressed, and then people get sick. Usually when people die and the funeral goes on, people start to get sick, people start to get bad luck, and all kinds of things happen, right? That's exactly what's going on, because the dead person's negative energy come back and start to attach to everyone. We here call them the AEP, after death evil crap pollution. Basically, it's like a pollution, like poop, poop, poop. All the dead energy go here, here, here. Everyone splits up. Now, after a while, when people are done with their most of their stuff, okay, or maybe it releases enough energy. What happened is after the funeral is done and such, okay, even there's no funeral, after a while, okay, when people's mind are mostly not so attached to this person, okay, it releases the bond to this person, and the dead soul will now start to detach from this world. It will sink back down, because now this thing is also a negative kind of energy. It's not supposed to be here. It's going to sink down. So it's going to sink down, and now you're very much in the very awake kind of state. You sink down and you start to see what we call the ghost world. And this is the point where you are a real ghost. When you are done with your returning and then you go back down, that's the real ghost state. Now, in this real ghost state, you are going to be able to see, sense, hear, and touch and interact with things in your world. So your world right there will have other ghosts, other beings there as well. Now these other dead people will be able to communicate with you while you're still in the like floaty mode. You're like, oh, I don't know how to walk and think, but people there can be walking already. Who knows, right? Maybe you encounter someone that can tell you stuff, or someone that beat you up. You have no idea, okay? But you can be confirmed that you are for sure 100% knowing that who you are, who you were when you're alive and you're now dead, okay? You understand everything. You have your memory and stuff like that right there. Okay, so these real ghosts down there, we call them the dimension 9 beings. That's what we call them, the 九幽靈. Okay. Now, when they reach this level, this world of the dead, okay, what's the purpose of these people right there? Well, going back to the Taoism theory of yin and yang, always in this world there are opposites. So people have to understand that in order for this yang world to exist, there is a yin world. Like there's a positive world and a negative world, right? Now in this human world, we're outside. So we're the yang kind of type, okay? So when humans are born, let's see, when humans are born, we are always on the bright side. When the baby comes out, it cries and then it would like to laugh, be happy. We like to make things. We like to create things. We like to smile. We like things that are good and happy and bright. Right? That's the nature of human being. Okay, nature, human nature is all positive. We're happy beings, right? By nature. Rarely you will see people being very destructive and violent and evil, right? Rarely they are born that way. Most people are born very positive. They might get very naughty and bad later because of the teaching from other people. But when they're born, we are always like crying and then laughing, and then you want to like that, like lots of happy stuff going on, right? Now, ghost world, the yin side, negative world. When you're born, when you're there, right? When you're born, when you're there, you are starting off with all the negative you like, all the negative, all the bad, negative stuff. You are born there to be like grumpy, mad, not happy, destructive, being like hate, all kind of stuff. The whole ghost world is about this kind of lifestyle. Now, why are they acting like so? There is a reason. Because these things, when they have so much negative energy, and that is why they go back down. But what makes them so negative is, well, this thing we call yeep, which is I've invented a term. It's called crime energy. It's like making a crime, but it's not really a crime. You can say they're like the stuck and clogged energy that you built up in the time when you're still alive. How do you build up these kind of clogged negative energy? Very simple. 3 roots, okay? 1 is when you want to think about something in your heart, and then you stop yourself from thinking about it. Suppression. Then these energy cannot come out from the heart and out. It cannot come out, so it pressed back in. There goes the junk file inside your heart. Now, you may not realize it because you suppressed it already. That it stays there for a long time, and when you're dead, these things have to be part of your negative soul. Now, second thing is from the mouth. Okay? You want to say something. You want to tell people something. You want to like output something out of your mouth, but you stop yourself. Now what happened is these energy that want to come out to create the speech go back inside yourself, and it gets stuck inside. As long as you keep accumulating, these things just pack in, and build pressure. Okay? Now the third one is when you want to do something and you suppress it yourself, or sometimes you got suppressed it by people, not always yourself. Okay? And then you stop yourself from doing it, and then things go inside. Now, during your whole lifetime, you have many chances to vent all these things out. For example, if you're like super mad, like let's say you got bullied by your parents, and then you're very mad, frustrated, and you want to vent out all these things, right? Sometimes you get exploding kind of madness at home, and you scream, you punch the wall, and well, yeah, you did vent out a lot of them, but not all of them. Some people will just let it sit inside and they swallow it in. And what happens is these things become your negative energy inside, become part of your soul. So when you're dead, these things all accumulate and build up, and well, That's why you're there. In order to get you out of that world of the ghost, of the negative soul being, okay, in order to die in that world, is to basically get rid of all these negative crap on your soul body. And in order to get rid of it, it's basically the same as you're here. So you have to vent it out. How to vent? Well, in here we can vent by, you can vent it out by, let's say, your heart can be cursing people, your mouth can be like scolding people, screaming, you can be like, you know, saying all kinds of bad words and stuff like that, you know. And also you can do it physically, like punch the wall, kick people, you can kill people, you know, all kinds of things that can express the anger, the madness, the suppression inside. Now in the ghost world it's the same. So that's why a lot of ghosts, when they're like very negative, they get very violent, they get very angry, venting and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And basically that's how it works in that world. It's very rare, very, very rare to see a good ghost happening and they're still down there. Because if you're so good, your energy should not be there. Your energy should be and bring you back to the Yun Sun, the spiritual planetary body. Okay, so you're here because you are pretty crappy in terms of your soul condition, and that's why you're still here. So yeah, people can be not dying and always living there for a long, long time because they have not vented out everything yet. So you can say, well, that's like a hell. Everyone's there killing each other, you know, bullying each other, doing all kinds of crazy things. Well, yeah, you're non-stop venting. You're non-stop trying to express the fear, the anger, the emotion inside. Basically, if you're not done, you don't get out. Okay? And basically, that is the worst part of death, because you understand you're dead, you know who you are, and you know why you're here. And then a lot of things you have been told when you're alive are a lie when you're dead. It doesn't look like what you are told. Okay, so it doesn't look like that, and how come it's like this? And you get all crazy, and well, yeah, that's how it works. Okay, very scary. So this soul right there is the real ghost. When they're done venting, what happened? Well, their soul is now not as negative. They can come back up, and they get neutralized. They get neutralized, like from the negative to more and more positive, and they get neutralized. When all these souls got neutralized, they regroup into the Yun Sun, the spiritual planetary body. And you are awake, or you can say you are born in that spiritual planetary body as like, oh, I entered a new world. And this is actually your own spiritual planet. And you're a being inside the planet. Okay, so it's like going to another planet and you stay there like camping. So basically you go through a life in that planet, which is actually created by yourself. This spiritual planetary body. Okay, so you can search up the lecture on Yun Sun and understand what it is. Anyway, so you live a life there, and when you're at the Yun Sun stage, we actually call these people the immortals. Why are they immortal? It's not because they're Superman and stuff like that, but basically the main thing is they don't die from aging because they're in their pre-heaven and neutralized state. So they do not die by age. They just stay there, and they can die when, let's say, they got chewed up by animals, or they fall from a cliff, okay, or accident, trip over something, okay, bomb themselves, whatever it is. But they just don't die from aging, and that's why it's called immortal. Now, these immortals at the Yun Sun, at these spiritual planet body, they will die sooner or later. And when they die, what happened? Well, they turn back into energies, and they will attract, or like they will be attracted to other beings in the world that are trying to make love and have a baby. Basically, this energy thing, the whole thing just cycle to attach to these and link to these parents. And well, when the parents and this thing really match, okay, they have a better connection, they will link up. And so there goes the cycle of life. So your Yun Sun, the spiritual plant body, will transfer energy into this pregnant woman. And then the pregnant woman inside, okay, will have the energy beam back to the Yun Sun. And while the person is pregnant, energy from this Yun Sun keep coming down and coming down. And basically when the baby is born, well, that's the you in the next life. Basically, that's the cycle of life and how it works. And it can take a long time for one to cycle back like that. But, well, that's how it goes. Human will always cycle back to human and will not cycle to other things. Because humans are done already. So they won't really change to animals or other things. But animals, sometimes they cycle a lot of times and they get more and more powerful in terms of the soul get better and bigger. So they will turn into a other species, bigger and bigger species, or even into human being. So when will you stop cycling? Well, basically when you're cycled enough to one life where you're pretty fucked up, meaning that you get chewed up by those evil gods, the evil spirits, or whatever around you, then you're done. Or you get captured somewhere else, or maybe you cycle too much and your Yun Sun, it's basically all busted up and there's not much stuff to use anymore. Then basically you turn back into energy form and you cycle out of this zone and you're done. So you go back to nature as energy and you basically, nature will recycle you. So that's how it goes for the world of the dead. And basically if you're like wanting to know how it feels when you're dead, basically your life, like your real life as a ghost, will be somewhat like the you inside the hell-like zone where everybody is venting, grumpy, angry, that kind of stuff. Okay, and then you'll be there for a pretty long time. And then when it's time's up, you get neutralized enough, then you can go. And well, yeah, that's the hell, like the not so good side of death, which is pretty crappy. But when you get to the Yun Sun life, okay, the pre-heaven side, your planet, well, that's the happy side of things, because at least you're out of that suffering place. And then you go to your next life and enjoy. So basically, that's how a normal person cycles their life. In the next video, this one is too long. I have to make part 2. So next video, I'll be talking about how to die better, how to deal with like funerals, get a better death, and what the other options, and you know how to help your relatives and stuff if they're dying, and you know how to speed things up, avoid these, and okay, I'll talk about those in the next video. So I hope you like it, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.